Life is all about winning positions. I attribute this to most of my success, and I really wanted to focus on putting myself in the best position possible to increase my odds of success and not my odds of failure. Let me explain. Success only cares about isolation, visualization, motivation, dedication, and intense focus and no distractions. That's what breeds success. So if you're working on a company or you're trying to build a skill, you want to put yourself in a position where it checks all of those boxes and you have intense, non-distracted focus on that thing. And that's all business is and making money is. It's skills. So you want to put yourself into a position as to where you are going to increase your chances of success and not increase the chances of failure. Let me give you a real world example. I am not hooked on drugs. I'm not hooked on alcohol. I do not have any children. Even though I do think in some cases having children can increase people's chances of success, I am simply putting myself into these positions where I can have one-on-one alone time of intense focus and no distractions on my business to become successful. And I'm not going to try and put myself into a position where I'm hanging out with bad people who are gonna try to tempt me and pull me away from that intense focus. So this is what it looks like when you put yourself into a position of where you're leveraging your time and energy to get all of the odds on your side to become successful and to not fail. Let me give you another example. You can have a kid at 16 years old, but do you think that's increasing your chances of success? Or do you think that's increasing your chances of failure when it comes to, let's say, running a business or building a skill set or a skill group? Really, all that matters is what is going to leave you with the one-on-one alone time, the move the needle work, the non-distracted, intense focus work. Anything outside of that is going to increase your odds of failure. So having a kid at 16 years old or a really young age can actually increase your chances of failing significantly. Same with getting hooked on drugs, alcohol, pornography, or simply putting yourself into these terrible positions in life. Now, it's not to say that you can't do those things and become successful, but imagine if you put yourself in a much better position, how increase the likely chances of success or even gaining more success as to whatever it is that you want to do. Just think about how much you could achieve. So I'm not trying to come on here and I'm not trying to knock people for having kids at a young age or drinking alcohol or doing drugs. It's simply your life. Do whatever you please. But these are things that I've tried analyzing in my own personal life from a very young age because I wanted to increase the odds of success as much as possible. So I looked at my life. And I looked at everything and I figured out exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a lot of money. I equated money with freedom at the time. I don't equate the two really anymore. Money does equal freedom, but with more money comes more responsibilities and so on and so on. But I looked at this and I said, okay, I want to make more money. How am I going to do it? What position do I have to put myself in to achieve this goal? The position of working a 9-to-5 job was not the most leveraged or advantageous position to making a lot of money. So I looked at people around me, studied people, and I knew that I needed to own a business to make a lot of money. Of course, you don't make a lot of money in business right off the bat. It takes a while, but I saw in the long term that was going to be the best way to make a lot of money. So I knew, okay, I have to become a business owner. I have to put myself into that position. What are gonna increase my chances of success? Not having kids young, not being addicted to pornography, not drinking, not doing drugs, not wasting really any time on anything that isn't focused on my business at hand, and doing the deep, important, move the needle work. So I started putting myself in all of these positions to increase my chances of success. And it worked. And I truly believe that you have to put yourself in certain positions to get the desired outcome of the life that you ultimately want. And you need to stay away from positions that are going to take away from that success or are going to increase your odds of failing. So if I could really offer any advice and something that I have done and something that I continuously work on, it's putting myself in advantageous positions to increase my odds of success in my business and in my life. I hope that you can analyze this, look around at the positions where you're at exactly in life, and think, how can I put myself in a much better position? What are the things that I need to do? Do I need to move away from my area? Do I need to stop talking to these friends that really serve nothing for me? Do I need to stop doing drugs? My off time after work, after my 9 to 5? Do I sit down and play video games, or do I put myself in an advantageous position to where I can start building my dream business? I mean, it's really up to you and how you want to live your life at the end of the day. But this is just a theory that I have about life that is, if you put yourself in a certain position, you will get a certain outcome. And you just really need to be very intentional about your life and analyze everything that's going on across the chessboard of life to see where you are and ultimately where you want to end up. I hope this helps some people. Peace.